started. Hopefully everybody can hear and see everything okay. If you can't, please do let us know. Just one little note before we get underway with our lesson. Tonight is going to be quiz night. So every second lesson, you are going to have the opportunity to take part in a quiz, which basically just gives you and us a little bit of feedback in how well you understood what's been taught. So we'll end this lesson at approximately 10:45. The quiz is going to take 10 minutes, and we're going to need you to log out and log back in onto the website. Hopefully your parents have logged you in already and you've got login details, because it's only if you've already logged onto the website and you've got those login details that you would be able to do this. So if you don't have login details yet, please speak to your mom or your dad or whoever you're staying with and ask them to get you registered on the website so that you're able to do these. Okay, all right, but more about that later. Let's get on with our lesson now. So the last time that we were together, we spoke about quadratic sequences because they're tested in matric. And then we spoke about arithmetic sequences as well, all right? So today we want to speak about arithmetic series. And the formula to calculate an arithmetic series is here on the screen, and we're going to talk about what all those different things mean now. But the first thing I would like to ask you guys is, do you know what the difference is between a sequence and a series? Why do we have two different words? What is the one that the other one is not? Does anybody know? What's the difference between a sequence and a series? Why do we call one thing a sequence and we call something else a series? What's the difference between the two?
Can I try?
Go for it, Angela. Thank you.
Well, what I've been told is that a sequence, you can add like the terms and then no, I'm lying. It's a sequence and a series, right? Yes. So the sequence is a normal pattern, and then the sequence you can add your terms, or there's the addition between the terms.
100%, Angela. That was really, really well put. I couldn't have put it any better. Okay, excellent. So a sequence, just as you had said, so when we talk about an arithmetic sequence, right? So for example, if I have a sequence that goes 1, 3, 5, 7, etc., etc., that's a sequence, all right? A series is where, as you had said, we are going to be adding the terms together. So 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. So that's the difference. All right. So when we are working with a series, we have got a different formula than if we're working with a term, right? So if you all recall from last time, our nth term, Tn equals A plus n minus 1 D. Okay, so that is the term formula. So let's just write that over here. This is the term formula. Sn, sum to n terms, is n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d is our sum or series formula. And in some questions, you will need to use both, or maybe you just use the one, or maybe you just use the other one. It just depends on the question. It depends on the information that you've been given and what it is that they're asking you to do. If you learn your formulae off by heart matrics, it just makes life so much easier for you, because you don't have to keep going backwards and forwards to go and find the formulae either in a book or on a formula sheet. It means you can work a lot faster. So my suggestion to you is, wherever possible, try and learn your formulae. All right, so the first example that we're going to do over here is for us to find the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. Can you see that in this particular example, they haven't told us whether it's arithmetic or geometric? I know we haven't spoken about geometric sequences and series yet, but in questions, if they don't tell you whether a pattern is geometric or arithmetic, how would you know which is the correct formula to use? What would you be looking for in the terms of the sequence or the series? Does anybody know? What would you look for? So, yes, September, what would you look for?
Wouldn't you look for if for a difference that's the same across all the numbers?
Absolutely, 100%. Okay, so either you're going to be looking for a difference or you're going to be looking for a ratio, right? So now, geometric sequences and series, we haven't spoken about yet at Watobe, and we will get there. But that's exactly right. You're going to be looking for a difference or for a ratio. So in this particular case, we can see that there is a difference of what between each term? Let's ask a difference of what, Adam, between each term?
A difference between each term, it's 2, right?
Exactly. Perfect. So your difference is 2. Now we want to establish what the first term of the pattern is. Antonio, what's the first term of the pattern? Maybe Antonio can't hear me. All right, let's ask Lebogang. Lebogang, can you hear me okay? Do you know what the first term of this series is?
Ma'am, I'm not really sure with this one.
Okay, so the first term of the series is going to be this value over here. It's the first term. This is term 1 of the series. Okay, and plus 3, that would be term 2. All right, of the series. And then 7 would be term 3. So we have a letter that we use to represent the first term of the series. Can anybody remember what that is from our lesson on Tuesday? What letter do we use to represent the first term of a series or sequence?
Siatemba's hand is up.
Okay, Siatemba, what do we call it?
We use A, if I'm not wrong.
You are 100% right. You are not wrong at all. So in this case, A is equal to -1, right? The key word here in this particular question is find the sum. Okay, so that is an indication to us that we have to use the SN formula. So when we look at the SN formula, it's not just enough for us to know what A and D are. We also need to know the sum to what number of terms. Okay, so in this particular case, they've already told us that it's going to be the sum to the first 20 terms of the pattern. So that means that in this case, N is equal to 20. So now we're going to sub into our SN formula. So the sum to 20 terms is N over 2. So this will be 20 over 2, square brackets, 2A.
Sorry,
A is
Lee?
-1. Yes?
The D, the difference.
Yes.
Is it not 4?
Oh,
It
it's
has
4. Yes, it's
Yes.
4.
I was
Quite
just
right.
thinking.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
sorry, I wasn't looking. Thank you, please. You must tell me if I make mistakes. Yes, you're quite right. The difference is 4. Okay, 100%. So A was -1 plus N -1. So this will be 20 -1. And then the difference in this case is 4, as you correctly pointed out to us. Marvelous. Thank you so much. So that would need to go into a calculator, and then we would need to write down the answer. Anyone been able to work out what that is? Maybe you're still writing. What do you guys get as an answer?
I got 740.
740. Adam, I got the same answer as you. Okay, so 740 is correct. Okay, so that for you in matric level would be seen as a very, very easy routine type of question. Something like this would only be worth 2 marks matrics, 1 mark for subbing into the correct formula. You won't get any marks for subbing into incorrect formulae, and 1 mark for the answer. Okay, how do you feel about that? Is that straightforward? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Can we have a reaction?
Thumbs up. We
Thumbs
have
up.
8 thumbs up. Yes.
We have 8 thumbs ups. Oh, good.
9. Yes.
All right, so now that we've been able to do that, let's go and have a look at one of the. Yes.
I have a question. So when we put it in a
course.
calculator, do we like put a
Yes.
bracket? So we put 20 over 2, then do we say
Yes.
multiply by 2 or multiply by 1, or do we like put a bracket? We type it
Rather,
into a calculator.
yeah, Michelle, rather put the bracket. Okay, so
Okay.
rather use the bracket. Once you get inside the bracket, so if you've got 20 over 2 and then put a bracket, and then you can go minus 2 plus 19 times 4 and then close your bracket again. If you want to do that because it's a bit quicker, you're welcome to. Okay, but definitely use the brackets because you want whatever the value of the bracket is, those two terms added together, that must be multiplied by whatever's on the outside. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem, with pleasure. Okay, so now it's time for you guys to try one. Okay, so here is the first traffic light. Okay, and I'm talking specifically about question number 1. All right, so let's try that. We're going to give you 3 minutes. So this question over here that I'm busy coloring in, let's do that. So 3 minutes from now, it's 11 minutes past 5. So at 14 minutes past 5, we'll mark it. And you can see here, I've put the formulae for you. If there are any questions or anything you don't understand, please ask either Katlego or myself.
Is the answer 670?
I'll have a look and see
Oh,
what
for
I
number 1,
got.
yeah, for number 1.
Yeah, for number 1. We're just doing number 1 at this point.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So you finished that quite quickly, Adam, which is great news. How's everybody else?
So,
May I please ask?
Of course you may.
After the B, is there something written? It's like A and B after the whole term.
You mean after this bit over here?
Yes.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That's got nothing to do with the question.
Okay.
Okay, so it's just find the sum of the arithmetic series 5 plus 8 plus 11 plus whatever to 20 terms. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
all right. So I see a few of you have put your answers into the chat, which is great. Katlego is quite right. 670 is correct. Yes, Trish, that's good. Well done. Same for Luyanda, you got the right answers. Yukanya, you got the right answer. Adam told us. Valerie, did you just make a little typo? You got 630? Was that a typo or did you make a mistake? Okay, no problem. Okay, good. And Khaleesi and Jolene, you also got 670. Perfect, 100%, quite right. Okay, let's go back and go and have a look at the second example. Is that okay? Are there any questions with regards to question number 1? Does anybody want to ask? 610, Michelle. Okay. Katlego. I wonder what you've done. Michelle, can you read to us what it is that you've written?
So I type in the calculator 20 over 2, then I put a bracket, the one bracket, and I say 2,
Yeah.
open bracket 5, close bracket, plus 20, plus open bracket 20 minus 3, close bracket. And then
20
I
minus,
say
20 minus 1, Michelle.
minus 1.
Yes, 20
Oh.
minus 1 is 19. And then you're going to have your 3 over
3.
there.
Then close bracket in another bracket.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, got it now. Okay, so it's
Yes.
2. So this bit at the front is n minus 2. Then this is 2a plus n minus 1d. Okay. Good job.
Zoom user, are you there? He's struggling to type in the calculator.
Do you
Zoom
want to maybe,
user,
do you want to maybe chat to Zoom user over the chat and I'll go to the next example?
yes, yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Thanks, Katlego. Okay, so now next example. Here's example number 2. Right. So here we've got calculate the sum of the following finite series. 3, 5, 7 plus 111. And my question to you is, what is the difference between example number 1 and example number 2? So if we just go back up and have a look at example number 1 again, find the sum of the first 20 terms of the series. And let's go down here. I mean, apart from the fact that it's different numbers, what have they not given you in example 2 that was given to you in example 1? Does anyone know? Ah, good, Valerie, yes. And why did they do that? Why did they give you the last term? What are they expecting from you by giving you the last term? Does anybody know? What do they want? Anyone want to give it a try? Indeed, Michelle, that's quite right. So they need to know the term position of this particular term in order to know how many terms there are in the series. Okay, so this is the last term of the series. So in example number 1, matrix, they told us to calculate the sum to the first 20 terms. Here, they don't tell us how many terms there are in the pattern. And that's why they have to give us the nth or the last term of the series. So now, before we can do Sn, we need to use our term formula in order to work out how many terms there are in the series. Why is it not possible for me to sub straight into this formula? Why can I not do that? Does anybody know why I can't use this formula straight away? Even though they've said that they want the sum? That's because, matrix, this piece of information is unknown. Yes, Siatemba, what were you going to say?
Ma'am, I was gonna say they didn't give us the, I think the term they want us to plus everything to find for the term.
Correct. So they didn't give us Sn. And the other thing that they haven't given us September and everybody else is that they haven't given us n either. So we can't solve for two unknowns in one equation. All right, so that's why using the SN formula in this case is not going to help us at all. We'll eventually use it, but it's not going to be the first thing that we use. Right, so even though they've told us to calculate the sum of the following finite series, we need to use our nth term. So in other words, Tn equals a plus n minus 1d in order to first work out how many terms there are in the pattern. So this 111 at the end, this is Tn. Okay, it's Tn. It is the nth term of the series. So I'm going to take that 111 and I'm going to substitute it over here. The value of A is 3. N is what I'm trying to calculate. I want to know how many terms there are in this series. And the difference here happens to be 2. So now I'm going to expand my brackets. What I always do is I take the 3 over to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 3 from here. So that would leave me with 108. And then multiplying my 2 into my brackets, I've now got 2n minus 2. So add 2 to the left, add 2 to the right. And that means that 2n will be equal to 110. Divide both sides by 2 and n is 55. Now I'm going to go and use my SN formula because now I know how many terms there are in the series. Okay, the 55th term is 111. The first term is 3. The second term is 5, etc., etc. I hope that makes sense. Can I have a thumbs up? Is everybody happy with that? Before we go and sub into... Thanks, Valerie. Is that making sense, everybody? Thanks, Luyanda. Thanks to Kanye. Thanks, September. Thanks, Matthew. Thanks, Suju. Okay. Please don't be afraid to stop me if you want to ask a question, if there's something that I say that doesn't make sense. Nobody's judging you. We're all here together to just try and improve our maths and do better. There's no silly questions. If you're not sure, please, please, please do ask. Okay, that's why Katlejo and I are here. All right, so matrix, now that we know how many terms there are in the series, we can now do the sum of the series. So now we're going to use our other formula. Sum to 55, Sn, equals n over 2. 55 over 2, brackets, 2a plus n minus 1d. And our difference in this case was 2. Okay. And then you're going to pop that into your calculator, and then you can share with me what you got as an answer. Or if you want to pop it into the chat, you're more than welcome. You can put your answer into the chat too. I agree. That's what I got, Luyanda. Good. Is everybody else cool, Katlejo? Cool, Valerie. Yes, 100%. Yes, nice, Lebogang. Good, Michelle. You've obviously figured out how to put it into the calculator now, which is awesome. Mkolisi, yes, Zoom user. Good job. Good. So now this question, there's a little bit more working here, isn't there? So we would expect something like this to be out of more marks, and it would be. So here there would be a mark for subbing into Tn, a mark for working out 55, another mark for subbing into the correct formula, Sn, and then a mark for working out the answer. So again, this would be considered something that is fairly routine, but there's just a little bit more work involved. Okay, so let's go, if that's all right with everybody. Are there any questions? No, let's go and have a look at the next spotlight. Okay, so now you have got a choice over here. Let's just move this over to the left. Okay, so either you can do this question over here, or you can do this question over there. You don't have to do both. You just have to do one or the other. Right, so you can choose. And again, we're going to give you 3, maybe 4 minutes to do this. If you've got any questions, pop them into the chat or ask away if you need to. So 3 or 5. 5 is slightly more difficult than 3. Is that big enough? Can everybody see that all right? Okay, there we go. Sisutu, is that better? Sorry, Sisetu, is that better? Pleasure, no problem. Okay, and then if you're finished, you can just do a thumbs up, a reaction, or a thumbs up in the chat, just so that we've got an idea of where you're at. Cool, Renewa, well done. That's good. We're going to look at the answers now. Well done, Trish.
Valerie, thumbs up, noted.
Nice. Angela
Angela,
also says she's done. Good.
Jolene, Lebogang. Quite a few now. Nolene, Nkolisi, Zoom user, yes.
Okay, good job. So let's go and have a look at the answers. I hope I haven't made any mistakes. I'm just going to pull this down. Okay, so here is 3A. All right, so if you did question 3, here is the answer to 3A. There were 80 terms in the pattern. Then if you did 3B, there's the answer there, 12,400. Okay, so whoever did 3A and B, is that okay? Is it making sense? Did you get it right? And then if you did question 5, again, you would have had to work out that there were 118 terms in the pattern. And then you would have done the sum to 118. And actually, we can get rid of that. I got 16,284 as my answer. How did that go, Matrix? Happy, sad, makes sense? How are you feeling? You got 79 by 3A. Okay, let's go back and have a look, Michelle. Anybody else get any other answers that were different to me? 79. Okay, so Michelle, did you sub in the same way that I did? All right, so
Yeah,
in
so
3.
when I said T313 equals to -3 plus open bracket n minus 1 close bracket 4 close bracket, and then I transposed the -3 to the 313, so then I got 316 equals to 4n minus 4, and then I said 4n. Oh, I think I forgot to add the 4 to the 316. That's the mistake.
There you go. Okay, but that's great. At least you found your little mistake. Okay, so that's actually good, Michelle, because the mistake that you made is just a really silly little like grade 8 kind of mistake. It's not a big, oh, you didn't understand what formula to use or how to work it out. Okay, so it's just little things like that that you just got to be careful. Often in maths, Matrix, it's not the people that are very, very clever that do well. It's the people that are very, very careful. Okay, so talk to yourself through everything, single step. That's why I Katlego and I sort of try and keep quiet so that you can concentrate. But talk to yourself through every single step. All right, obviously inside your head. Okay, so I'm going to take it that that was fine and everybody's happy. Are there any other questions? Can we go back to the next thing? Okay, we'll take it as all good. All right, now let's have a look at this example. All right, so here it asks us how many terms of the arithmetic sequence 4, 7, 10, 13 will add up to 175. So now the big question is, all right, what are they asking us to calculate and what information have they given us? What does this 175 represent? Is it a TN? Is it a term in the series or in the pattern? Or is it the sum of the series? What do you guys think? Anybody want to tell us? What does, yes, Siatemba, what do you think 175 represents?
I think 175 represents the sum of all the terms in the sequence.
Absolutely. So Siatemba, what made you think that? Like what in the English of the question made you think that that's what it meant? What were you looking at specifically? Go for it, Siatemba.
I was looking where it says when will add up to. So when it says add, then it told me that I must add all the terms together to find 175.
Exactly, that's perfect. All right, so this bit over here, add up to, is what is so critical. Okay, so add up to, we'll add up to, that is what implies that 175 must be an SN, a sum to n terms, and not an nth term, not a term in the pattern. Right? Again, when we see the question, how many terms, they are wanting us, how many terms means we need to calculate, how many terms means we need to calculate the value of n. What is the value of n if Sn is 175? So now, if we write down our Sn formula, so Sn is equal to n over 2, 2a, plus n minus 1d, they have now given us this piece of information, all right? They have given us what the Sn is. So we are going to substitute that over here, 175. How many terms means work out n? So we don't know what n is. So n has to stay n for now because that's what we're solving for. When we look at the pattern, we can see that A is 4. That's the first term in the pattern. We don't know what n is. Remember, that's what we're calculating. So we're going to have to write that as n minus 1. And the difference in this case is going to be positive 3. Okay. So now we have subbed into the correct formula. We can use n to calculate. Sorry, we can use the Sn formula to calculate n in this case because they gave us Sn. They gave us what Sn is. Okay, unlike example number 2. The easiest thing I think for you to do is to get rid of the fraction. So you can see here that there is a divide by 2 on the right-hand side. So what you can do, Matrix, is you can multiply the right-hand side of the equation by 2. And what you do to one side, you've got to do to the other side. When you do that, it means this 2 over here and that 2 will cancel because it's 2 divided by 2. Okay, and then on the left-hand side, we've got 175, which we are now multiplying by 2. That leaves us with 350 on the left. So we've got 350 on the left equals n, open brackets. 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 3 times n is 3n, 3 times minus 1 is minus 3. Now I'm going to remove my brackets and I'm going to collect all my terms on one side. So let me remove the brackets next. So 350 equals 8n plus 3n squared minus 3n. So now if I bring that 350 over, bring the 3n squared to the front, 8n minus 3n is 5n. And when this 350 comes over to the other side, I need to remember to change its sign. Okay. So now, Matrix, you have to work out the value of n from 3n squared plus 5n minus 350, which is a quadratic equation. So if you find factorizing really, really difficult, you don't have to stress because we've always got the quadratic formula to help us. Okay, do you remember the quadratic formula? Do you know it off by heart? Okay, so it goes n equals negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Now, we don't actually have to write the quadratic formula down, but we've got to show where we subbed in, okay? So I don't have to write what I've done in these different colors, but I do have to show the next step. So I'm going to write up here now. So n equals, this I must show, negative 5 plus or minus b squared, 5 squared minus 4 times a is 3 times c is negative 350. All over 2a. Okay, and now we're going to get 2 solutions for n. One will be valid and the other one will not be valid. And we'll talk about why now. Let's see what you guys get as an answer. What are your two solutions for n? You can share those with me when you're ready. Anyone got a solution for n or two solutions for n?
I started with negative.
Sorry, Nakwazi, say that again.
I started with the negative and I got negative over 3 times. I got 10.
You got 10. Perfect. Nakwazi, you're 100% correct. So either n is 10 or n is, I got the same answer as you, negative 35 over 3. Now, we have to make a decision. Is it possible for n to be a negative number or a fraction? Okay, it's not possible. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to extend the equal sign over there. Right, so you have to disregard the answer that is invalid in this case. You don't scratch it out, Matrix. Okay, you put a line through the equal sign to say n cannot be minus 35 over 3. So the rule with n is n always has to be a natural number. N must be natural. So by natural, we mean it has to be a counting number. So when we start counting, where do we start counting? We start counting at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc., etc. Okay, so in the situation over here, we have discovered that the sum to 10 terms will give us a value of 175. You don't have to write that. It's fine if you stop over here. Okay, so marks, Matrix, a mark for subbing into SN correctly. Often there is a mark for the for standard form, but there may or may not be that mark. It just depends. There is always a mark on this line. So you must show where you subbed into the formula. Your other alternative is to factorize. Okay, so either here or here, there will be a mark, and then often there is a mark on this entire line for accepting 10 and disregarding minus 3 over 5. Okay, so yeah, 3, maybe 4 marks for this particular question. Are there any questions? Oh, sorry, there's some. No. Okay. All right, so Valerie, when you were saying no, and Lebogang, when you were saying no, what were you saying no to? Was it something I asked?
Yes, it was the negative n.
Oh, okay.
Where we
Cool,
said
cool.
n has to be a natural number.
Indeed. Okay, good job, Matrix. Well done. Okay, so now we are kind of running out of time because you guys have got to go and do a quiz this evening. I wonder if we can just quickly do this particular question and then we can jump into the quiz. Okay, so Matrix, have a look here. I would like you to try this question. We haven't got long to do it. We've got about 3 minutes or so, and then we've got to get into the quiz. All right, so try question number 7 where I've just colored in. Yes, Siatemba.
Oh, during the quiz, during class or after class?
You were going to do the quiz during the class. Okay, so it's going to be the last 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, are you logged into the website?
Yes, I am.
Okay, all right. So then you'll be able to go ahead and go and do the quiz. It's really quick and easy. In fact, I've given you 10 minutes for it, but I don't even think you'll need 10. You'll probably need 5 minutes. All right, let's see if we can quickly do question 7 and then you can go and do the quiz. In the meantime, Katlego, shall we post the Zoom link and the link for the quiz into the chat? Those of you that want to join us at 6 o'clock, Katlego and I are going to be doing an advanced course. So from 6 to 7, there's going to be an advanced course on arithmetic, sequences and series. So you're welcome to come back and join us for that.
Sia Timber's hand is up.
Yes. Oh, sorry, Sia Timber. What's the question?
If I may ask, for the advanced series, how different is it, or how is it compared to the normal series?
Okay, so in other words, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be focusing strictly on the more difficult kinds of questions. So theoretically, the ones that we did today would be your level 1, level 2 type questions. So these are the things that everybody should be able to do. This is what gets you to pass the paper. The advanced course, I'm going to focus on problem solving. So it's going to be more difficult.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
And for the advanced course, will the meetings also be recorded as well?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, they will.
Thank you.
Of course, you're allowed to attend both classes, Zoom user, no problem at all. Okay, so you are allowed to attend both. Okay, so hopefully you guys are working on question 7. And then we can jump out and you can go and do the quiz and join us for the advanced lesson.
I just posted the link for the quiz now.
Thanks, Katlego. Okay, if you can just give us a thumbs up when you've done question 7. And then we can look at the answers. Okay, so Renewa, you finished. Good, well done. I'm just going to wait 1 more minute, Renewa.
Jolene, thumbs up. Noted.
And then here is the link to the next lesson. Okay, so once you've done the quiz, all right, so let's go and have a look at the answers. I hope I've given everybody enough time. I'm sorry, we're always fighting against time here. Let's go and look at question 7. So these answers, oh, hang on, I think it's a little bit further over.
Vele answers beziphi bethu. Antso ke andazi.
Where is 7? Did I not do 7? Am I going crazy here? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I just called it 8 for some reason. Okay, my apologies. All right, here we go. All right, so sorry, I called it 8. I don't know why. I got that wrong. Here is question 7. Okay, so you should have worked out that it was 20. Sum to 20 is 1580. How did that go? Don't worry, Jolene, we'll talk about the quiz now. Yes, 20 is correct. Okay, so Zoom user got 20. How about everybody else? Did you also get 20? Thumbs up, thumbs downs? How are you feeling? Is this making sense?
Jolene, thumbs up.
Okay, good.
Michelle, thumbs up.
Okay, Angela says it makes sense.
Nolene also, thumbs up. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions that you want to ask, Matrix, before we say goodbye and you go and do the quiz? Any questions on the maths we've covered tonight? Okay, so no questions, that's fine, not a problem. Please don't be afraid to speak up. It's absolutely no problem at all. Katlejo and I are here to help you. We're not here to judge. It doesn't matter what you ask us. We just want to help you understand the work better. So please don't be afraid to ask.